Let's talk about something every company has, a payroll. But what if that payroll, probably your single biggest expense, could actually become your greatest competitive advantage? For most places, it's just a number on a spreadsheet, a cost you try to keep down. Today, though, we're diving into a pretty radical idea, how to flip that script and turn compensation into a seriously powerful strategic tool.
Okay, so this slide just nails the shift we're talking about. On one side, you've got the old school payroll. It's a fixed cost, nobody knows how it works, it's one size fits all. Basically, you just passively administer it. But on the other side, we're talking strategic total rewards. This is something dynamic, transparent, totally customized, and it's deliberately engineered to help your business win. So how do you make that jump?
That brings us to our first section, from cost to strategy. And it all starts with asking yourself a really honest question, especially if you're in a leadership role. Is your company's pay system actually working for you, or is it just kind of there?
Really think about that. For decades, this is exactly how companies saw compensation. Just a fixed overhead cost, an expense you try to minimize. But that whole mindset, it's a massive, massive missed opportunity. It's totally passive, it's outdated, and honestly, it completely fails to leverage the most powerful investment you'll ever make, your people.
So here's the big idea. We have to completely reframe the goal. This isn't about just administering payroll anymore. The real goal is to transform compensation into a dynamic lever, a tool you can actively pull to make your organization healthier and, most importantly, to drive absolutely elite performance.
Right. So how in the world do you actually do that? Well, that brings us to our next section, the 5 core principles. You can think of this as the new architecture, kind of like the blueprint for building a truly elite compensation system. And here they are, the 5 big pillars of this new way of thinking. You've got market competitiveness, flexibility, data-driven customization, transparency, and last but not least, mission alignment. We're going to zoom in on a few of these, but this is the whole toolkit right here.
Now, what's really, really important to get is that these 5 things aren't just a menu you can pick from. No, they're an interconnected system. They all reinforce each other, and the source material is super clear on this. Transparency is the secret ingredient. It's the catalyst that makes everything else actually work and feel credible.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, right? But what does it look like when companies actually do this stuff? Let's check out how this whole thing plays out in the real world.
First up, market competitiveness. Now, this isn't just about paying people a good salary. No, this is a strategic move to position your base pay at the absolute top of the market. And why would you do that? Simple. You want to completely eliminate pay as a distraction. You take the money conversation off the table so your best people can focus 100% on doing incredible work.
A perfect example is Netflix. They're famous for their no bonus policy. They just pay an incredibly high base salary. And the outcome of that is huge. It frees up their top talent from chasing short-term bonus goals and lets them focus on long-term, high-impact innovation. It's a total game changer.
All right, next up is transparency. And listen, this is so much more than just a trendy buzzword. Our source calls it a rigorous intervention. It's about pulling back the curtain and showing everyone the how and the why behind what they're paid. This is how you really start to tackle pay inequities and build a culture of genuine radical trust.
And if you want to see a wild example of this, look no further than Buffer. They have an open pay formula that's not just visible to employees, it's visible to the entire public. It's a simple formula based on things like role, experience, and location. The intervention is radical, for sure, but the outcome is powerful. It enforces total internal equity because there is literally nowhere to hide any biases.
The last principle we're going to spotlight is mission alignment. This is all about making sure your rewards and your benefits aren't just generic perks, but that they actually reflect your company's why. They should be custom engineered to reinforce your core mission.
And come on, is there a better example than Patagonia? They offer an environmental internship program. Employees can take paid time off to go work for an environmental nonprofit they care about. See? That's not just some random perk, it's a living, breathing part of their mission, and it deepens their employees' connection to the company's purpose.
Okay, so we've seen the principles, we've seen the real-world examples. You're probably thinking, great, but how do I actually do this at my company? Well, let's walk through a practical 4-phase roadmap to make it happen.
It's actually a pretty logical path. Step 1 is assessment. You got to look under the hood, do a deep dive on your current system, and find out where the gaps and wasteful spending are.
Then step 2 is alignment. This is where you connect the dots and make sure your rewards actually line up with your company's mission. Step 3 is the big one, design. This is where you architect the new system. You build the data-backed salary formulas, maybe a core plus choice benefits model. And finally, step 4, and this is crucial, is communication. You have to roll out the new model with total clarity so everyone understands the why behind it all.
So we have the principles, we have the roadmap. We're good to go, right? Well, hold on. Before we finish, there is one absolutely critical warning that underpins this entire strategy. After all this talk about being open and transparent, there is one major risk you cannot afford to ignore.
We've been cheering for this idea of openness this whole time, but our source material really forces us to pause and ask this very tough question. Is radical openness always a good thing? And it turns out, the answer is a very careful, conditional no.
And here's why. This quote says it all. Transparency without a robust, data-backed pay structure is a liability. Think about it. If your pay system is broken, if it's full of inequities and biases, making it transparent doesn't magically fix it. It just shines a giant spotlight on all the problems, which can crush morale and open you up to huge legal risks. You can't just open the curtains. You have to clean the house first.
So the crucial point, and honestly, if you take away just one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. Fix the data first. Build a solid, equitable, data-backed pay structure from the ground up. And only then should you pull back the curtain and embrace transparency. That right there, that is how you turn compensation from just a cost into your most powerful and sustainable competitive advantage.